Nelk boys, huh? Honestly, dude Bo podcast dipshit kind of a thing, yada yada yada. Haven't really gone over any clips about them before, but yeah, to get like a simple summary of the fucking Nelk boys and the Fullsend podcast, it's all just, well, dude bro dipshittery. And apparently they're very openly anti-Semitic. Like, do we have what are some of the fucking things that they've said that are like openly anti-Semitic? Can I get some like examples or something? Like what? I mean, they're having apparently a podcast episode with Benjamin Netanyahu, who he himself is an anti-Semite because he's engaged in Holocaust revisionism by saying that the Palestinian Grand Mufti was the main person when Hitler visited the Grand Mufti of Palestine, saying that that was the guy who inspired Hitler to do the fucking Holocaust, which is obviously, well, Holocaust revisionism, and is incredibly fucking anti-Semitic. Very, very anti-Semitic thing to say. But what do we got here? Benjamin Netanyahu and allegations of starving people in Gaza. I don't want to go. I'm just gonna go through the clips that they've posted. I don't want to go through the whole. I don't want to go through the whole fucking podcast.
Why do they say Israel's like starving the people of Gaza?
Well, because we're trying to get the food in, and we let food trucks in, and guess what happens when we let them in?
Um, wow, he's already fucking lying. There's a blockade of the Gaza Strip that Israel is currently doing. There's also gangs, like roving gangs of fucking Zionist militia people who go in and destroy the food trucks, destroy the fucking aid that they're trying to send in. Not to mention, let's not forget Israel killing aid workers. We'll pull up a classic clip that I've done before. This right here. This is an open grave where the UN basically discovered, whoa, 15 humanitarian aid workers that were fucking killed. Like, for real. Like, let's not even talk about World Central Kitchen as well. This was a convoy of about, what? Seven vehicles that were traveling along, trying to deliver aid to Palestinians in Gaza along pre-approved Israeli routes. The Israelis approved this stuff, and they still got fucking attacked by drones. Yet Netanyahu says, like, oh, we've been letting aid in. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, the aid that you've been letting in has been poisoned with Oxycontin. Like, flour poisoning with Oxy Israel. Like, they've put in fucking Oxy into flour that was meant to go to the Palestinians. That's a little interesting. Nelk has had Sneeko on and didn't address his obvious anti-Semitism. Well, they've also had fucking Fuentes on and probably didn't also address the obvious fucking anti-Semitism. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So, hey, yeah, actually, like, again, as expected of Benjamin Netanyahu, he's just going to blame Hamas, right? When the main problem is Israel.
Let them in. Hamas steals the food, takes the good chunk for itself. Then they jack up the prices, and then they sell the food to its population.
Hey, you want to know how you can stop that, Benjamin? Okay, it's really easy. You flood the zone. Just put in such a ridiculous amount of aid where it's just like, man, if Hamas steals some, they steal some. There's still a fuck ton of it out there. And if you want to address the sort of like black market sellability of the fucking food, there you go. Hey, Benjamin Netanyahu, I thought you were like a capitalist or something. Do you not understand the concept of supply and demand? I guess not.
To its hungry population, if they give them it all, and then use the money that they take from their own people to recruit more killers into their
Obviously, it should be extremely obvious that Benjamin Netanyahu
terror machine.
Why do they say
is just lying. You have been the one that's blocking aid. There's a current fucking there's like the Gaza aid flotilla that's trying to break the fucking blockade, right? Like Israel blocking aid Gaza. Whoa, Israeli demonstrators have blocked aid delivery to the Gaza Strip since January 24th, 2024. The demonstrators prevented the passage of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip at the Kerem Shalom crossing, at Nitzana crossing, at the port of Ashdod, and on the roads that 8 trucks traveled on. Huh. Well, that's a little interesting. Yeah, that's a really good point there, Zane. It's almost like there's a scarcity of food giving a reason for a black market to exist. That's a pretty interesting point that you raised there. All right, next fucking thing. Benjamin Netanyahu on October 7th. Oh boy, let's see what we got here.
There's still a lot of gray area, like with your average American, on what actually happened on October 7th, how it happened, why the response took so long.
What happened was that at 6:29 in the morning, several thousand of these Hamas murderers crossed the fence from Gaza into the neighboring communities and butchered everything in sight. And the other thing that they did was there was a music festival that lasted through the night in the open areas, okay, near Gaza. Young people. And these killers came there and they just sprayed the whole place. They murdered these young women and young men.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
From what I understand, they also took a bunch of them as hostages. They killed a bunch of them. Okay, we're not like, all right, Benjamin Netanyahu is correct there. They did kill a bunch of them, yes. They are heavily undisciplined, highly undisciplined, sort of like terrorists. But again, what Benjamin Netanyahu is not exactly addressing here is that his intelligence agencies were saying that Hamas might do a potential attack, like in October 7th. And a lot of the fucking IDF brigades that were stationed before in the fucking area were not stationed there. They were moved probably somewhere else. I think like to the north, I believe. And they were significantly undermanned. There was a reason why the breakout that Hamas initially had was as successful initially in terms of being able to take over certain security outposts, because they were able to take over security outposts and be able to, you know, spread further and do like murders of people and kidnappings of people. That's not again, not denying that, obviously. People died and also people got fucking kidnapped during October 7th. Duh, obviously. And also people got raped. Yes. We're not going to deny any of that shit. Obviously. The problem is that Mossad had an idea that there was going to be a fucking attack happening, and yet there was like a lot of people not stationed there in order to sort of like be able to defend from this like sort of breakout. And we all know why Hamas did October 7th to begin with. Because you, Benjamin Netanyahu, made sure that Trump would not include the Palestinians in any of the negotiations during the Abrahamic Accords. You had a hand to play in an October 7th happening. Because again, with the Abrahamic Accords going into effect, with a lot of Arab neighbors and Arab states normalizing relations with Israel, it made it such that Hamas, politically speaking, did not have a lot of other options to do, or politically speaking, did not have a lot of other options besides lashing out and attacking like an animal caught in a corner. Because that was inevitably going to fucking happen. So, again, Netanyahu, you had a huge part to play, you and fucking Donald Trump, in ensuring that on October 7th was going to fucking happen.
You know, how long did it take to get in there? We're still investigating why it took so long.
What's your response to people that say it could have been prevented?
I agree.
Like, again, what? Like, Mossad reporting on October 7th. Israel knew Hamas's attack plan over a year ago. A blueprint reviewed by the Times laid out the attack in detail. Israeli officials dismissed it as aspirational and ignored specific warnings. It's from the New York Times. Israeli officials obtained Hamas's battle plan for the October 7th terrorist attack more than a year before it happened. Documents, emails, and interviews show that Israeli military and intelligence officials dismissed the plan as aspirational, considering it too difficult for Hamas to carry out. Well, I guess they didn't. They came in with like fucking hang gliders and shit. It was fucking wild. I've seen some of the footage. It was crazy. The approximately 40-page document, which the Israeli authorities, codenamed Jericho Wall, outlined point by point exactly the kind of devastating invasion that led to the deaths of about 1,200 people. The translated document which was reviewed by the New York Times, did not set a date for the attack, but described a methodical assault designed to overwhelm the fortifications around the Gaza Strip, take over Israeli cities, and storm key military bases, including a division headquarters, which they did. Hamas followed the blueprint with shocking precision. The document called for a barrage of rockets at the outset of an attack, drones to knock out the security cameras and automated machine guns along the border, and gunmen to pour into Israel en masse in paragliders, on motorcycles, and on foot, all of which happened on October 7th. Well, crazy. They laid out a plan that they were probably plotting for about, I would say, 2 years, because when did the Abrahamic Accords go into place? When did the Abrahamic Accord... When was the Abrahamic Accord signed? 2020. They've been plotting this for about 3 fucking years. Plotting it, planning it out, training for it, probably preparing to do it, and probably amassing the necessary equipment for them to carry out the fucking attack. And Israel basically did nothing about it. They knew about this for a fucking year and were not fucking prepared for it. Yeah, okay, bro. Totally. What a nice fucking meme, Benjamin Netanyahu. It was something that totally came out of nowhere. And it's all like these murderers just constantly pouring in. You know.
There's still...
Yeah, there's a lot of gray area about what's going on with October 7th. Sure. Yeah. Benjamin Netanyahu on the current state of the Iran war. Let's see. What do we got over here?
Is the war with Iran, is it over now? After President Trump did authorize the strike and they destroyed the nuclear program?
You know, we were like a person.
They didn't destroy the nuclear program. They set it back for probably about a couple months. The attack basically did nothing, because I've talked about this before. They notified the Iranians which sites they were going to attack and what they were going to do. And the Iranians let them know. It's like, this is what we're going to do in retaliation, right? They've been communicating about this. Because, again, think about it for like literally 3 seconds. If there was any fissile material in any of those sites, you drop those giant fucking bunker buster bombs in there. These are 30,000 pound bombs. You drop them in there. You catch the material. You start blowing a bunch of nuclear dust and material up into the fucking air. Who knows what particular airstream that's going to get caught into and start spreading out to other countries. Not to mention irradiating a bunch of Iran. Could go up into Georgia, Azerbaijan, could hit Israel itself, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and could even hit Russia. Do you think that the Russians are really going to be particularly happy about a bunch of nuclear dust irradiating into Russia? That would be a complete diplomatic shitstorm. And we want to talk about fucking World War III. That could potentially cause World War III. And yeah, like you're saying, Boy Meets Minnie, could have started a nuclear war, which is why it was an incredibly idiotic, reckless attack. And of course they were going to tell the Iranians what they were going to do. Because that is... I suppose that is even a risk that the Trump administration itself is not going to fucking take. Because that would have been absolutely insane.
Person with 2 lumps of cancer that threatened our life. The first one's the nuclear cancer. The other threat that we had, another lump of cancer, was these ballistic missiles. So we had to act. We did act. And, just with incredibly brave soldiers.
But is there a chance of peace with this current...
I mean, all you guys did was just bomb the shit out of them from the air and used incredibly advanced U.S. technology in order to just overwhelm their fucking air defenses. Basically just took over the airspace, overwhelmed the Iranian air defenses, got air superiority. Not supremacy, but superiority. Took out a lot of the Iranian Air Force, and you were just able to sort of like maintain that without a problem. Very easily, making it, well, basically the path completely clear for the U.S. bombers. Like, you guys just used a bunch of technology and cruise missiles. Like, that's about it. And yeah, exactly, Boy Meets Minnie. Yeah, we had this same convo with when Russia took over Chernobyl, as well as the Zaporizhia plant. Exactly. Quite literally. The same thing could have happened. Like, the Russians were using the nuclear plant as fucking cover to make sure that the Ukrainians can't shoot back at the Russians when they shot at them from the nuclear site. The IAEA and the UN were saying, like, can you please leave the fucking goddamn nuclear site? Because there was some instances of some accidents happening there. And the Russians wanted that to fucking happen on purpose because they're just like, whatever. We don't give a shit if, like, a bunch of, like, material gets kicked up in the air. It's what happened during the Chernobyl meltdown. Like, people, I remember there's stories of people in Romania having higher instances of cancer because of Chernobyl. Like, quite literally. So, that's cool. That's great.
Regime?
Not with the regime, but with the Iranian people.
That'd be nice, because I think one thing Americans don't want to see is everyone has post-traumatic stress from, trying to do regime change in Iraq and the past Middle Eastern wars. Is the war with Iran?
Sure. Listen, war with Iran, if Benjamin Netanyahu wanted to start up the fucking war again and come up with an excuse, because again, we all know why he did the fucking war with Iran to begin with, okay? It's so fucking obvious, right? There are corruption charges that are currently swirling around Netanyahu. He has been on trial for those since 2022, for the past 3 years. And very conveniently, because of the war council, because of all the fucking people that he's bombed what? Of course, the Palestinians, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Syria now, fairly recently, the Iranians as well, the Houthis, Yemenis. He's bombing so many fucking people right now because he has to maintain the war council for as long as possible because of those corruption charges that are swirling around. There was a very recent vote that passed within the Knesset. Well, not that recent. It would have been a couple months ago, like 1 or 2 months ago at this point, that passed by 2 votes within the Knesset. That if that vote did not pass, it would have triggered elections, and Netanyahu more than likely would have lost. His approval rating is astronomically low right now. It's like at 20% or something. People do not like Benjamin Netanyahu. So more than likely, if there was an election that happened within Israel, he's getting voted out, and guess what's immediately coming around the corner saying like, oh, hello, my name is Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption trial. You have a jury and a trial that you must attend, Mr. Netanyahu. Your ass is probably going to fucking jail. That is why he's doing everything possible to maintain the fucking war cabinet, because he wants to stay in power for as long as possible, preferably till the day he dies, so he doesn't have to deal with his corruption trial. And he's even willing to risk World War III to do that, which is insane. What's the next thing? Benjamin Netanyahu getting hate worldwide. I wonder why he's getting hate worldwide. I can't really think of anything. Why is this? Why is this the case? I could never really understand why people would hate Benjamin Netanyahu. I couldn't think of anything.
I think you definitely have a tough job, but why do you think you're like so hated worldwide?
Well, a lot of propaganda. The Chancellor of Germany said Israel.
Are you actually for fucking real? Propaganda? Dude, you keep bombing aid worker locations. What do you mean? What? This fucking victim complex is on another fucking level. Like, how about Palestinians going to GHF aid locations? Israeli troops fatally shot 32 Palestinians trying to reach aid locations, says Gaza officials. They encircled us and started firing directly at us. I wonder why people don't like Benjamin Netanyahu all that much. I couldn't think of anything. It's a total fucking mystery to me. God, the fucking victim complex is on another level, dude. Jesus.
Did the work for all of us, the new Chancellor of Germany, okay? Because those Iranian missiles were geared at Europe too, and ultimately at...
A complete schizophrenic conspiracy theory. Like, he put out a bunch of AI videos of, this is what the potential future might hold if Iran gets a nuclear weapon. And it's like Iran nuking France. Why would they nuke France randomly all of a sudden? What? Because they're like illogical, belligerent terrorists? That's what he thinks in reality. That they're just like the Iranians, even though like throughout every single time they did a fucking response to any of the fucking aggression, it was some of the most calculated, careful, measured shit on the fucking planet. Yet you want to call them utter belligerents? From you. Okay, dude. Nice meme.
At America. The question you have to ask is not why do they hate me or President Trump.
I'm going to also assume that every single time Benjamin Netanyahu has done any of his like stupid propagandistic fucking talking points, every fucking single time, these guys did not fucking push back on any of that stuff. Because, again, the Nelk boys and the Fullsend podcast are just a bunch of fucking dude bros who probably don't really know about any of this fucking stuff. They're just dude bros who are like, yeah, being a conservative is like totally heckin' based and cool and epic, bro, or some shit. And it's like, it's just like the dude bro thing to do. Like, they're not gonna know about any of this stuff because Benjamin Netanyahu has just been lying to them. Yeah, exactly. It's just easy monetizable content. Exactly, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, they could give less of a shit if hundreds of thousands of people died. Yeah, exactly.
Is why don't they see reality? Why don't they see what's good for them? And the answer is most of them do if you tell them the facts. But how do you tell them?
No one thinks that what you're saying is factual. Like, no one is saying that. Like, no one agrees with you. Like, it's delusional.
The facts over TikTok.
I don't think it's the Iran thing. The main thing I just see is if I don't think people like if civilians are getting injured or killed.
We don't want it either.
I think you
Oh, really, Benjamin? You don't want civilians to be killed, huh? Really? Really, you don't want civilians to be killed? This is just one example of hundreds. How about the post-interview sort of broadcast? Because they had a post-interview broadcast. Having Netanyahu on is like having modern-day Hitler. Crazy.
It's a good point. Someone said having Netanyahu on is like having modern day Hitler.
No, I saw that.
Which is honestly, guys, I'll be honest. I'm here to. That's a good point.
These two fucking dipshits were able to fucking recognize that. It's insane. Now, I don't know if they, like, we know that these dumbasses are probably anti-Semitic in some way, okay? Probably because they're just, like, well, bumbling buffoons. Maybe, I don't know if it's, like, genuine at all in terms of their fucking belief system. Who really cares about that, right? Like, because they've had anti-Semites on their platform before, and they've probably done, like, zero pushback on all the idiotic fucking bullshit that they, well, probably have said, right? That's not really, like, the fucking point. If they fucking recognize that Benjamin Netanyahu is, like, the fucking modern-day Hitler, like, come on, man. Like, what else is there to fucking say besides, yeah, this fucking freak over here, this complete Holocaust revisionist fucking Hitlerite, this complete fucking freak is, well, it's pretty accurate to just call a spade and just call him the modern day Hitler, who's currently perpetuating a modern day fucking Holocaust.
I like, we're here to fucking learn, to be honest, guys.
I'm sorry to say, you're not gonna learn shit from Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, that's not also ridiculous to say, Boy Meets Mini. But you know, they also talked with Hasanabi. What do we have here? What do we got here with Hasanabi? Because I assumed that Hassan also probably like poured over the clips. My assumption, of course. And I guess the Nelk boys decided to have him on. I mean, they also had talked with fucking Fuentes. I'm not gonna look at what they probably talked with Fuentes. I'd rather die, I'd be honest, than look at that shit.
Just because we platform someone, it does.
Right, because okay, I understand now. Yeah. They were basically concerned about the fact that they may get deplatformed because people were criticizing about having Benjamin Netanyahu on their platform. That's what it is. So they're afraid of like being canceled, quote unquote, or some shit. When in reality, the biggest problem here is that you're having a known liar, propagandist, and current genocide perpetrator on in order to just like come up there and just like say a bunch of fucking talking points that have been media practiced and rehearsed, and just like go up there, say a bunch of fucking bullshit, and then just like leave and move on from there. Like that's the actual fucking problem and criticisms that they have. Like, interviewing Benjamin Netanyahu is not the problem, okay? Yeah, interview Benjamin Netanyahu. No problem there. Like, yeah, you should probably interview someone like Benjamin Netanyahu. The problem is like, if you just offer, like, no fucking pushback, nothing at all, that's the actual fucking issue.
doesn't. Our viewers are fucking smart. Like, go read the comments. Like,
Yeah,
but
but
also proof that just because we have someone on, it doesn't necessarily mean a W for the guest.
No,
Hassan, I'm gonna point out
I
one
understand
thing.
that.
Go ahead
There
and
are plenty of
respond,
people
but
that I
comments
disagree
today-
with that I
Yeah,
communicate
comments are
with.
proof.
But there's a difference between, there's an upper limit to it, is my point. And that upper limit is like far past when it comes to fucking someone like Benjamin Netanyahu. My limit is,
This is a very, very fantastic point here by Hassan. You can't just let Benjamin Netanyahu on a free platform where you can just espouse propaganda, because I'm going to make the assumption, again, just from based off of the fucking clips that were put up here, they offered like no fucking pushback because they just don't have, and this is my assumption, I'm making an assumption here. These guys don't have the broader knowledge to point out a lot of Netanyahu's bullshit. They don't. Because, again, they're a bunch of fucking dude bros who don't really like looking into this shit. Not that they don't like it. They probably just don't do it because, I don't know, like, why would they, right? Like, they just do their, like, dude bro podcast stuff and just do, like, silly antics and stunts on stream or some shit. That's probably speaking the assumption that I'm sort of operating off of here.
is far before Benjamin Netanyahu. It's someone like Nicholas Fuentes or someone like Andrew Tate. But even
Yeah, they also had Fuentes on as well. Like, not that long after.
if I were to engage with people like that, it depends on.
Honestly, I'm surprised that they decided to have Hassan on to get his perspective. You know, I'll give credit to the Nelk boys there, you know, because Hassan is very knowledgeable in terms of, well, knowing how to engage with, well, far-right fucking extremists, and also how to have, like, adversarial sort of interviews and conversations with people. He's been in media for a very, very long time at this point, so he knows. So listen, respect there for the Nelk boys. It is good that they're getting his perspective on this. Although I assume, I don't know, probably the chat, because they stream on Kick, is probably, like, having a schizophrenic conniption about it, if I were to take a guess.
It depends on the platform that they have and how much prominence and how much influence they hold over a large enough audience, because I feel like it's
Also a very good point there by Hassan again. Benjamin Netanyahu is the current prime minister of Israel. That's a lot of fucking power. Being able to just give him a free platform and just to spew propaganda to the Nelk boys, who are a pretty popular big podcast, is, well, that's just free fucking goddamn propaganda for Netanyahu. Netanyahu will take that for free. That's free eats for him. He loves that kind of shit.
unproductive. It's counterproductive if they hold no staying power whatsoever. So I'm not saying that it's bad to interview Benjamin Netanyahu, but if you
Just because we
I couldn't have said it any better myself. I guess they also have fucking Adam Friedland. Reached out to Hassan for his insight on the backlash they received for interviewing war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu isn't promoting a book. He's promoting a genocide. Listen, Adam Friedland, he's been having, he's been having some, like, pretty good interviews with, like, a lot of, like, more liberal sort of, like, commentators, just, like, kind of, like, pointing out how ridiculous and buffoonish they are. I mean, he's, like, am I expecting Adam Friedland to have, like, in-depth knowledge about fucking Ukraine? No, not really. Like, that's more up to Hassan to sort of, like, talk about that appropriately, but Hassan does not do a good job about that, but whatever. Like, Adam is just, like, he's just, like, a stupid, like, silly, ha-ha, funny guy, and it's, like, that's, like, whatever to me. I don't really care about that.
Hassan, anyone goes on a podcast to promote whatever they're doing. We're
yeah,
aware of
but
that.
they're not. But Benjamin Netanyahu's not promoting a book, dog. He's promoting a genocide.
Bro,
That's
we
the
had
point.
fucking O.J. Simpson on. We had
Yeah, they, like, listen, every single time, like, I mean, this is a pretty good fucking line there by Hassan. Like, man, we had O.J. Simpson on. It's just like, dog, the O.J. trial happened, like, fucking 30 years ago. That's out of the news. Like, nobody really gives as much of a shit about that anymore. O.J. has probably, I think, had his, like, goddamn image rehabilitated a bit at this point, which is fucking insane to say, obviously. But yeah, it's happened. Once a thing happened, like, long enough ago, people kind of tend to forget. The genocide's still happening right now. Benjamin Netanyahu is not going on there because of, like, what? He wants to, like, promote a book or do, like, a media tour or whatever. He's there to just impart propaganda on a very like sort of like easy to propagandize audience. People are not going to like look into this like broader fucking issue any further. Like that's the problem, right? Like that's the main criticism, right? That people are going to have about what the Nelk boys did on there. Not because they had them on. They're not going to like cancel them because of that, okay? Like that's just silly and ridiculous. The problem is that if you do not provide an adequate like sort of like adversarial platform to someone like Benjamin Netanyahu, he's just gonna fucking run roughshod all over the place and just like take it over for himself and just use it as a opportunity to espouse propaganda and just lie to an audience who probably are not going to know any better than themselves. That's the real fucking issue, not having him on. That's silly, that's ridiculous. It's like the same thing that comedians do all the time when they say a really stupid, idiotic joke that's bad and doesn't fucking land and is not funny. People say like, yeah, this joke's kind of shit because of these reasons, and then they complain about getting canceled about it. It's like, no, like that's not how that works, okay? That's silly. But anywho, nothing really much else to say besides, like, yeah, more or less what I expected from the fucking, like, sort of dude bro podcast here from the Nelk boys in Fullsend, where, you know, they're not going to be properly sort of equipped in order to be able to engage with this sort of, like, platform sort of properly that, like, they offered to Benjamin Netanyahu. And, like all the shit that I had to open up just to debunk a lot of fucking Benjamin Netanyahu's lies and bullshit is fucking insane. Like, this is like 6 fucking tabs, dude. Like, come on. Because he's just going to go on there and he's just going to lie. That is Benjamin Netanyahu's whole modus operandi. Like, quite literally. That's not hyperbole. That's not silly to say. That is his whole MO because, again, what he wants to do is to perpetuate a genocide. He wants to ethnically cleanse Palestinians from the Gaza Strip in order to, I don't know, like, colonize it himself, settle it himself, and use it as, like, a rich boy fucking playground if, like, he wants to follow the vision of Donald Trump, for fuck's sake. That's the actual issue here. And that's the fucking main criticisms. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that, to be honest. Alright, I mostly just want to add this as, like, a kind of amendment here to the sort of, I guess, like, Nelk boys, like, overview of the podcast they had with Benjamin Netanyahu. So first off, everyone fucking hated it. Benjamin Netanyahu mostly went in there to try to, I don't know, appeal to young people because he understands that young people fucking hate him because they, well, to be quite honest, don't want to go out there and die for Israel. In the case of the Nelk boys, right, like, the people in terms of who watch the Nelk boys are going to be, like, stupid, like, more right-leaning, like, 18-year-old boys. Let's keep it $1.50, okay? It's mostly going to be, like right-leaning people that are going to watch Nelk boys. That's, like, the kind of, particular audience they appeal to. And honestly, yeah, like you said, Boy Meets Minnie, he did not come off very well, to be honest. And he made it too transparent. Like, he doesn't understand the particular crowd that he's appealing to. He thought he was, like, appealing to Democrats, which I don't know why he's trying to, like, appeal more to, like, younger Democrats. Because I don't know if you know this, Netanyahu, but the Democrats fucking hate your guts. Only 12% approve of, well, or sort of side more with the Israelis in terms of what they're doing in Israel, and, you know, in Palestine and Gaza, generally speaking. So, like, what are you doing? Huh? Like, what, like, it's very strange that you're trying to, like, appeal to this. And the sort of, like, idea that it's, like, a transparent sort of appealing that he's trying to make here is, like, well, maybe not to, like, necessarily, like, left-leaning, but, like, to younger people in general, right? Because the only people who care about, like, I don't know, online censorship tend to be, like, more right-leaning people. It's really, really weird. So what? Appears shocked with the lack of free speech on podcasts in America. That's really funny for Netanyahu to be saying this because, dude, you have, like, state-run censors. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Literally, I think there was a Palestinian woman who has his, like, I think she had, like, Israeli citizenship. She was a barber, or, you know, a hairdresser, stylist, whatever, who, in her WhatsApp, I think, like, header, said that she's praying for Palestinians, and the police visited her house and fucking arrested her. Buddy, you have, like, no fucking place to talk about, like, free fucking speech rights when you have state censors. Yeah, for a WhatsApp status. Like, quite literally. We can look this up. What? Palestinian woman arrested. Oh, there it is. Arrested for WhatsApp status. Like, it's fucking crazy. She was a Palestinian woman with Israeli citizenship who got fucking arrested, dude. Terrorism charges on a WhatsApp status. Encourages terrorist actions. All she did was say, pray for Palestinians, pray for Gaza or some shit. That's it. And she got fucking arrested. Netanyahu, you ain't got no place to talk about state censorship. Yeah, you know, only democracy in the Middle East. Yeah, totally. Terrorist state. Just terrorists. They are terrorists. Like, there's no hyperbole. The fucking state this motherfucker is running here is a terrorist state.
You have a business right now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you regulated?
Yes.
You are? Why are you regulated?
Because if you don't regulate businesses, you regulate businesses in fucking Israel, you fucking moron. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, again, the only reason why he's saying this is so he can fucking appeal to these, like, all the, like, 3 IQ troglodytes in America who supposedly care so much about, like, complete, like, laissez-faire capitalism or some shit. Like, what is this? Are you people for real? Seriously? Fuck out of here, dude.
Regulated? By what? You should have the freedom to say whatever you want, to talk whatever you want. I didn't realize there's regulation on podcasts.
There's something called the TOS of platforms, Benjamin. Like, buddy, you arrested a Palestinian woman who was praying for people's safety in Gaza, dude. Don't come out, don't talk about fucking state censorship, you fucking piece of shit. You fucking dumbass. Like, again, it's also sort of, like, incredibly sort of transparent, quite literally, showcasing just how transparent he's trying to, like, appeal to American audiences that he's starting to lose, right? People in America do not like this motherfucker, okay? He's losing a significant amount of good grace and approval rating in terms of a lot of younger people, especially here on, you know, the Western Hemisphere, in North America. You know, the most important people that he needs on his side for to have his state continue to be able to exist. So, you know, that's cool. Israel literally regulates kosher certifications on restaurants and food companies. Yeah, dude. Yeah, like why do you guys have, like, you know, regulations and stuff? That's a little weird. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But, you know, real fucking cherry on top. Which pretty much tells you everything as to why no one was going to fucking like this goddamn interview. The Nelk boys admitted they were handed pre-scripted questions to ask Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during their podcast interview, and that it was arranged by Trump's White House. So, if we're now wondering as to how they managed to get Benjamin Netanyahu, there's the fucking goddamn answer, right? We know, because they had Trump on their podcast before, they've done little photo ops with him and shit like that. They have contacts with people in the White House. They do. So, the White House, more than likely, pitched this interview as a way to try to make Netanyahu look better in terms of younger audiences in America, because he's starting to lose a significant amount of sway and pull with those people in particular. So, again, nice try, I guess, Trump White House, to make Netanyahu look as bad as possible, because he did not look good in front of the fucking Nelk Boys audience, right? Because nobody fucking likes them. Keep in mind, it's mostly young right-wing men that are within that podcast audience. no one really else is in that environment, and the ratio that they had was really, really bad. Like, people did not like that podcast interview that the Nelk boys had with Benjamin Netanyahu, right? Nobody fucking liked that shit. So, again, like, a big failure. Maybe this is like a sort of secret attempt here, kind of by accident, for the Trump administration to make, I don't know, Benjamin Netanyahu look as bad as possible. So I guess, like, good job in that particular respect. It's really, really strange. Yeah, maybe Boy Meets Mini, but I don't think they're mostly hardcore anti-Semites. There's probably a bunch of them in there, probably, but I think that's probably a small part of their fucking audience. Let's be honest here. No, it's just that a lot of people do not want to go out and die for fucking Israel. That's what it actually is. No one wants to go out there and fucking deal with any of this fucking goddamn bullshit in the Middle East because they remember Iraq. They do not like Iraq, and they want nothing to do with that, right? And they know that if they, go out, fight for fucking Israel, it's going to be the exact same fucking quagmire bullshit, and no one wants that shit. Which is why it was just like, I don't know why Benjamin Netanyahu even decided to do this in the first place. It was going to be just a complete, utter failure. Like, nobody fucking likes him in America because he's just, like, an ostensibly, like, whiny, loser fucking piece of shit. And he's just, like, well, he's just a fucking asshole. Like, he's doing a fucking genocide, for fuck's sake. So, I think it stands reason to believe that, whoa, yeah, this was never going to fucking work out to begin with. And the fact that he attempted to do this shit is just like, I don't know, shows to me just how ridiculously fucking desperate it is to try to win back the good graces of some people in America. But it's cooked, man. It's over. Listen, Benjamin Netanyahu, like I even said myself, like, ring, 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 IDF, you got to do everything possible to keep bombing fucking Palestinians because it's really going to ingratiate you and more with people within the fucking West. You're doing a great job, Benjamin. Very good. Kabosh. Good work. Like, this was always gonna fucking happen. Let's be quite honest here. That, I suppose to launder the genocide, they're going to try to do everything possible to make, like, Benjamin Netanyahu look as good as possible. And it's like, dog, it's cooked. Like, it's over. Your state that you have been running is going to eventually collapse in on itself, and, well, it's only going to make you look 10 times worse and worse and worse. So this attempt that you were trying to do here, at trying to clean up your fucking image for the West, whoa, it was a miserable failure because you're just a piece of shit and nobody fucking likes you. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that.